Hi, I'm Fred Wild. Welcome back to the ATSF Wild Subdivision. This is going to be my January layout update. Coming to you a little late, but I have some reasons and you'll find out more about it in my intro. I'm trying to shoot this quickly here, so I'm going to basically read this off of a paper. The month of January has been very hectic. Not a lot of model railroading has gotten done. In that make a living thing went from almost no overtime to working 60 hours a week. To go on top of that, we've had a couple of blizzards and sub-zero, like minus 20 Fahrenheit, temperatures in between them. Because of the temps, I had water pipes on my second floor freeze. Then they burst, pouring water down from the second floor, through the kitchen, down into the basement, taking a bunch of the kitchen ceiling with it, putting water down onto the layout, parts of the layout. I don't have any video of the flood. I was a little busy at the time. Fortunately, none of my trains were harmed down in the basement. Most of the damage was to the ceiling in the kitchen. Then, the time that I had when I wasn't actually working, I spent working on the plumbing. Needless to say, we had a couple of days without water, and that week was so bad that my wife was commenting about how she's writing a country western song. I was working all that, had a nice little script written up and everything, and getting ready to film this a week ago, and my father decided he needed to go for a trip. In his trip, or said fall, he ended up breaking his hip and having to have hip replacement. So I have spent most of that time I wasn't at work in the last week watching after him, visiting him, etc. Again, still not a whole lot of time when you're working 60 hours a week plus. I have gotten some work done on the layout. 2 weeks ago, I told you not to pay attention to the mess because it would be covered in today's update. Actually, that was 3 weeks ago. Well, here's the update on the bridge and peninsula. I have been working to assemble the abutments and the piers at one end, and I have been reshaping the foam to fit the abutment. I started here with working on the foam and the piers, but I need to wait until I get some more of the bridges finished to see how tall everything is going to be and how everything will assemble together. As we come down into the basement, right at the end of the peninsula, you should be able to tell what I've been doing here. I've started to do some landforms, some sculpt-a-mold, and I've got styrofoam filling in all the way back to here. I installed some LED lighting along the valance around the peninsula. I put up some more valance, and I've added some lighting on the end of the peninsula. If I turn the lights off, you'll see the difference. I've also been using these two passenger cars as a way of testing my track, making sure that everything runs smoothly. I found that in this area the curve was too tight and the Walther's heavyweight was derailing. Some track up and road bed. Sprayed some great stuff foam in to fill in that space over there. After doing testing with my passenger cars, I kept derailing right in here. So I'm changing this curve a little bit to make it a little bit smoother. Also over the weekend I started working on this building that's supposed to be here. It is sitting over here. And it's going to look like that. That's the back of it currently. It is cut into several separate pieces and then glued back together. I do have to go through and fill in the seams, etc. before it'll be ready for paint, but we're getting there. My first kind of kit bash project, so we'll see how it comes out. Also in the last one, I told you, now don't pay any attention to this Great Northern steamer here. That's just there. This GN steamer belongs to a friend of mine. It is a Tenshoto S1 Crown that I have been installing DCC and sound into it for him. Here's a clip of the loco running on the local club layout. I still have a few things to finish up in this installation before putting the video of the installation together. Well, that concludes this update. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully we'll see you again next month.